now. So we are going to go this way. Oops. I haven't moved stuff, have I? Still got the arrow keys bound. Alright, let's see if I can go here. Which one's chase cam? There we go. There we are. Hey, look at that. Look at that wonderful dagger in my hand there. Isn't that awesome? But yeah, here's the third person view. It's called chase cam. And in this view, you actually have to use the keys to swivel yourself as you run. Oh, glorious. I'm going to go back into first person just because that is what I'm used to. And it's what I think of whenever I think of EverQuest here. But we are going to continue down this way. I doubt map works. We didn't have maps back in the day. Let's see, M? Yep, the map has been disabled on Project 1999. Very good indeed. I'm glad to hear that. The mapping system came into EverQuest in February of 2003 in the 5th expansion for it called The Legacy of Acacia. So many of us old-timers feel that the previous expansion, The Plains of Power, in October of 2002, was the beginning of the death knell for the classic game of EverQuest, as so many of the things that made it special and that had you made it unique was kind of rubbed out there. It's the kind of stuff that I think we enjoyed it at the time because a whole bunch of these convenience things came in, like the mapping, the plane of knowledge, all the different portals appeared in the world, the little books on columns that you clicked on that would take you to the planes of knowledge, and the portals at the planes of knowledge that would take you just about anywhere throughout the world. You know, you no longer had to hunt down druids and wizards in order to get ports around the world. Now anybody could. First level noob could walk up to a book and click on it and be transported to the plane of knowledge and click on a portal there and be transported anywhere in the world. So you lost that part of the game. It was another death knell for the whole social aspect of it. Plane of knowledge had many other problems as well. Used to be in EverQuest you had to travel all over the world to collect your spells. You know, I can remember there I think it was Enchant Gold or Enchant Platinum, you know, for the people making jewelry. You had to enchant the metal, and the only place it could be found was on one of the merchants inside the Dark Elf City, way back in the 3rd section of the Dark Elf City. So I remember Gnarlo stripping him down naked, casting invisibility on him, and sneaking my way all the way back into the far back reaches of the Dark Elf City. Scared absolutely crapless the entire time, just waiting to get killed and for my invisibility to wear off at an opportune moment and for the guards to kill me. But I got it, and I memorized it, and I gated the hell out of there. You know, it was that kind of stuff. When Planes of Knowledge came in, the Planes of Power, suddenly all the spells in the game were all in a library right in the center of the zone, so anybody could go get them. There was no longer any challenge in getting them, any craft in getting them. I said at the time we looked upon it, I think many looked upon it as a nice convenience, but it did kind of, in hindsight, it took away a large part of what made EverQuest special. Now, that isn't to say that we didn't have maps, and I don't want to make you believe that we carried all this information around in our head. There was a website back in the day called EQ Atlas that a gentleman, his character's name is Muse. I have no idea what his real name was, but he talked at the time about, I think he was going to med school, possibly med school. He talked about working on his doctorate, whether it was med school or a PhD, I don't know, because that's how sometimes he talked about the updates being a little bit less frequent than usual. But he ran a thing called EQ Atlas, and it was the most famous and complete of the EQ mapping sites. A number of people did them, but he did them the best, and he had the most complete. And for instance, here is his map of Akanon, which is the home city of the gnomes. This is the zone that we are in right now. In fact, if you look at that lower lake, that big square in the middle, goes straight south from it to the southern shore there, and you'll see a number 16. That's where we are. That 16 is where the Priest of Discord is. So we're standing right there as far as the map goes. And these maps were wonderful. As you see, he had them annotated, little numbers marking where important stuff was. He did this for every zone in the game up to through a certain time. And the dungeons, the raid zones, everything was done this way. And the way that he did it was you go into a zone and you just start pumping the location button. The location function in the game gave you your X and Y coordinates according to the map. You'll see the numbers across the top and down the side of the map. Those are the X and Y coordinates. And he would just follow the walls and pump the location button to get the X and Y coordinates of wherever he happened to be standing at the time. It was a long and laborious process. After you got this entire thing, then you would sit down. As you see, they're all hand drawn. Basically, he would draw dots along the map, I would imagine, and then connect the dots until he had drawn all the various parts in. And then he'd go back and add in the annotations and all. Wonderful. Hand-drawn, hand-colored. It was exquisite. I had an entire notebook printed out on my old dot matrix printer with the ribbon, dot matrix ribbon printer. I had an entire collection of his maps printed out so I could refer to them in the game, because this game didn't handle alt-tabbing all that well back then. Once you got into the game, you were lucky if you could alt-tab out and then alt-tab back in without the game crashing. So a lot of us would print out the maps, and we would print out stuff like spell list and all the other information that we needed. Muse quit updating his site, quit making maps back when Planes of Power came out and the in-game mapping system came in. So we replaced the beautiful hand-drawn and hand-colored maps that he would create with the in-game maps, which were nothing more than zone renders of the information stored on your hard drive. And if you think that this right here and all its sterile, lined, edged precision and with code and clinical and everything else is any substitute for the kind of warmth and handcrafted love that you see here, I just don't know what to say other than, go back to wearing your cheap plastic digital watches, that are nice and efficient and very minimally effective at doing what they're supposed to do. Muse quit updating his site back in 2005, and over time, more and more of the links and all parts of it broke, and it got more and more scrambled to the point where it could no longer be used. Fortunately, however, in a way, the people who played EverQuest on their Macs, yes, there was a version of EverQuest made for the Macintosh back in those crazy days in the 90s and the early aughts when people actually thought you could play games on an Apple computer. And they had the misfortune, as it were, that their edition here came with the first 4 expansions all the way through the Planes of Power, and they never got any of the other expansions after that. And they also had the problem that the Planes of Power, their version of it, did not come with the in-game mapping system. So the people who played on the Macintosh server, it was Al Akbar, I believe it was, still have a website. The Al Akbar website is still available out there, and they had the great fortune of one of their members had copied and saved the entire EQ Atlas website. So they cleaned it up, fixed all the broken links and stuff like that, and mirrored it up on the Al Akbar website. So it is still available there today, where you can go and click and see all the various pages of EQ Atlas in its early 2000s glory. The other thing is that he also sold a PDF file with all the maps. Every map he produced and all the information, all the annotations and all were available in a PDF file. And that link still works. You can still order it. You can pay by PayPal or credit card. You can still order the PDF of it with all the various maps that you see here. And that's what I did. I went just a little while after I found out about it, and I ordered the PDF and downloaded it and opened it up and just basked in its glory. Looked at all these old zones that I enjoyed traveling through, and I like to think that it was my way of what did I spend? I think $5, $6. I like to think it's my way of buying Muse a beer. Assuming that he still gets the money for it. I'd like to think my way of buying him a beer for all the help that he gave me with his maps over the years. Because the maps, they really, once again, modern conveniences and stuff. But here we are down here in Akanon. There's the Great Forge over there. And the Mechanamagica, the Library Mechanamagica, is that building right up there at the top. So we are going to continue up this kind of smashed and broken path and go all the way up to the top of the cavern here and see if we can find Miss Caller. Let's see. I think the door is around front here. There it is. There we go, and you left click on it. I'm wanting to say... Boy, listen to all the clockworks going off. That's one thing about the gnomes here. Their entire place is full of just clockworks. There we go, Juline Earncaller. She is the master of the Enchanter school here. So she is the one we are going to be giving our scroll to. Let's hail her. And she says nothing to us at this time. So we will pull this up. And then we will take this and we will give it to her. There we are. See, she comes up over there, so we will give it. Oh, I love the experience. Love that experience siren. That trumpet. Juline Earncaller says, "Welcome, I am Juline Earncaller. I will help to guide you on the path to becoming a powerful enchanter." So, once again, the game also had faction. Faction with the Eldritch Collective got better. The Dark Reflection, which I think the Dark Reflection is the Rogues, maybe? That got worse. The Dead is the Necromancers. That got worse. Gem Choppers got better. Gem Choppers, I think, are the Clerics Guild. And King Akanon, who is the ruler of the place, got better. Awesome. So we are going to take our robe here. I think we're supposed to be able to click on it. Let's see, is it shift? I'm going to take a look and I'll be right back here. Alright, if I just watch this little window that pops up, these little tip windows, they'd remind me how to do stuff. I'm going to close the thing there. You right click and hold. We got a dirty gold felt robe. Right click and hold it. Shows us a lore item. Lore items meant that you could only have one of these. You could never have two in your inventory at one time. It fits in the chest slot. It gives me armor class 2. It weighs 0.8, and yes, you do have encumbrance in this. As you see down there at the bottom left, I'm using 4 of 60. If you go over 60, it cuts your movement in like half. And I think if you go up to double that, if you go to 120, you can't move at all. So that's another thing, you know, none of this running around with 5 bazookas and a tank tread in your pocket. It's a small item. It can be used by wizards, mages, and enchanters, and can only be worn by gnomes. So we are going to go ahead and put that on. You'll see my armor class right here, which is 14, should increase to a 16. Fantastic. All right, and let's go out here. Let's see. Move back. There we go. See, I'm in my dirty gold felt robe there. Nice. Let's turn around and let y'all see it all. Awesome. Awesome. And the thing is, the original Gnarlo on the servers, I can't remember what Prexis has become now, because Prexis has joined servers several times in the various server merges, but I also got WASD reset while I was out too. But the servers, my original Gnarlo still has his gold felt robe as well, because I just could not give up the sentimentality of it. Okay, so we have completed that. We have joined the Enchanters Guild now. Now at this point, we have no money or anything whatsoever, so the thing to do, normally we would say something like, oh, we need to go out and get spells, but, I mean, buy some more spells, but we have no money to buy any with. So, let us remember where the exit is. There we go. Wonder if that's somebody who clicked on A. A is the bound to the auto attack. You'll see a lot of people like this in front of merchants and guards and the priest of discord and all that. You'll find corpses laying around because A is the auto attack button. And you go to hail someone, you know, if you want to hail a merchant, you'll notice none of the merchants and all that, as you saw in yonder. None of these people, you know, it's other than a few like this, but most of them, the people you saw in there, Miss Earncaller doesn't have anything underneath her name that says, you know, guild leader or anything. She's just got a name. So if you want to find out what they do, you had to click on them and you had to hail them. And then if they had anything to say to you, they would say it to you. They didn't talk to you just because you clicked on them. Well, a lot of times you would click on a person like this and you'd start typing hail, but if you hadn't hit enter first, say like this, you hit enter and you see the little blinking cursor, then you can type hail. If you just started typing without hitting enter, you hit H and then you hit A and you automatically start attacking the merchant and they kill your butt. And so you'll see a lot of corpses in newbie zones in front of guards and merchants and all, where people have tried to hail them and forgotten to go into tech speak first. So there you are. Let's get off of him now. And we are going to go on back down. Ah, wonderful. We forgot to look at the door there, didn't we? I guess that is actually the front door. The Library Mechanamagica. Isn't that wonderful? I said again, I just love this game. There's something about coming back to it. Something about the nostalgia and all. You know, I played this for 7 years on the old Sony servers. I was playing playing EverQuest here. And I started in 1999. I think the game started either the last week of March 1999. So we are basically right at the anniversary. This would be this March and April is the 17th anniversary. Yeah, this is 2016, 99. Yeah, this is the 17th anniversary of EverQuest here. having been released as a game. The game started in either late March or the early April of 1999. See, back here, you can tell that's more of a waterfall than you can up front with the big green ocean, underground lake here, and the fortress in the middle where King Akanon lives. You can actually travel across those bridges and all over there, and go in and go into the capital of Akanon itself there. But yeah, this was see, he probably Grimlock's here probably tried to hail the Priest of Discord there and got killed by him. But yeah, it was like it opened in March or April of 1999, and I started playing, and I think it was June 25th is when I bought the game and installed it and rolled up my first character. All right, there's the fortress there. You have to get through that wall. I love the signs. Akanon. Love the signs there that you have to. There when a wood elf running by us, going out to adventure. There's the wall. There's the first line of defenses that you would have to get through in order to enter on into the cavern. See, even got clockwork spiders and stuff. Clockwork spiders, clockwork rats. It's just amazing. Wonderful stuff. But yeah, I played from April it started in April, and I started playing in June. I think it was June 25th of that year. Loading, please wait. Shouldn't be nearly as long as it used to be back in the day.